What's up? I'm Marshelle Barwise. Thank you so much for joining me for Word Boost. Hey, little sister, you know what it is. This is a place where we get real about common stumbling blocks women face, and I try to share wisdom to help all my sisters worldwide avoid getting tripped up or trapped in less than God's best. Today, I want to talk about love. Yes, love, such a great topic. Losing my voice right here. Back on. Okay. Love is such a great topic. And I know that growing up, I remember sitting around talking to my friends, slumber parties after school, just talking about love and the future, hopes for love, all of that stuff. But now that I'm older, grown, kind of been through some things, a married woman, all that jam, friends for long times, whatever. I mean, love is not just isolated to romantic relationships. I want to talk about the realities of love. And if you follow me on IG, this week I posted the phrase, love is inconvenient. Yes, I said it. I bet anyone who's following me that recently got engaged or married was like, yeah, unfollowing her. She's killing my vibes. No. That was not my intention. And yes, I know what I said is not that butterfly definition of love, but it's true. It's true. Love is inconvenient. Love is an amazing experience. We'll go into that. Definitely am not going to take that away, because that is true to its core. But it's also important to know love as it is entirely versus as it's advertised to be. Because some people are right smack in the middle of a love encounter, right smack in the middle of what love really is, and they don't recognize it because of all the Hollywood hype and the Hollywood filters. And I like to say too, sometimes the Hollywood filters, what is that? I think that's when the Christian and the faith world, has this idea of what the scriptures are saying, and we create this, you can't be imperfect. You have to get it right all the time. So everybody tries to predict perfection as well when they feel like they're professing their faith. And what it does is it sets us up to be tripped up and trapped. And I don't want that to happen. And I've seen that in my own life. And why should somebody I have connection with go through that, right? If I can just tell them, hey, here's a roadblock. All right. And so talking about love, I think, is really important. To me, I think love is a form of wealth we all, or most people, if we're being honest, want to have in life. But knowing the nature of real love is absolutely essential, because there's a lot of counterfeits out there. I'm going to say that again. There are a lot of counterfeits out there, and drop me a #facts if you know what I'm talking about. And that's why I say love, among so many other things, is inconvenient. And I want to talk about the inconvenience aspect of love. And so that way, when you're walking in it, when I'm walking in it, we're experiencing it with our family, our friends, our loved ones, we don't miss it. And to dig into the nature of love, I want to look at a popular Bible passage in 1 Corinthians 13. Now, if you don't know the Bible, it's okay. You don't have to listen. You don't have to read the Bible to listen to and enjoy Word Boost. But this passage describes love so amazingly. Okay. It's like, it never fails to remind me that love is truly a supernatural experience. It defines love as being superior to all things. I mean, it says it's more important than the ability to see into the future. Now think about that. Like what we're going through right now with even coronavirus. I mean, how many of us would like to know when it's going to stop? Show me the future so I can know when this is going to come to an end. And it says that love is even more valuable and superior to that, to knowing the future and being able to see into the future. It says love is even better than being a masterful speaker. Now, communication is so crucial. Being able to talk, communicate, be clear, make people understand what you're saying, your vision, all of that stuff. There's so many things that you can do with that gift. And it's saying, nope, that is not as important or as valuable as love. It also says, knowledge, being a genius. You could be an Ivy League, PhD, genius, highest scores, test passing, valedictorian. It's saying love is higher and more superior than that. And even says it's better than faith and hope. I mean, come on, hope. And so I love that. In other words, it's saying love is king. Love is king, and it's what the kingdom is built on. And so in that passage, as it goes on to talk about how superior love is to all things, I used to read it and feel like, wow, this is great. I cannot wait for somebody to love me like this, because love is patient and it's kind. It doesn't envy or boast. It's not arrogant or rude. It doesn't insist on its own ways. It's not irritable or resentful. It doesn't rejoice in wrongdoing, but it rejoices with the truth, and it bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. It never ends. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want that type of love? It just sounds so easy peasy when I was younger. And even at times when I didn't have, relationship connections to the degree that I have now, it just sounds so easy. But over time, I realized that how do we know that love is patient? How would we come to know that love is patient other than if love is tried? Man, love has to be tried and tested in order for us to know that love is patient. How would we know that love is kind unless love is treated in a way that's not, like, love is mistreated, right? Love is abused. And in response, love is still kind. How do we know love is not envious or boastful? I mean, all of these things, love has to be tested. It has to be tried in order to be determined to be these things. And I didn't realize that, growing up. And when you get married, I think marriage is a huge eye opener when it comes to love, because like I said, when people get engaged and you have your wedding and all of that stuff, there's just those feel good, like butterflies. You dream about what your life's going to look like, and those vows are real, but they just seem so easy to comprehend, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, till death do us part. Yes, put this ring on my finger. That's how you're feeling. But really, when life hits, that's when the depths of your love is revealed. That is when it shows, right? Did you have love to begin with? Did you have a counterfeit, or did you have the real thing? Was it Cuban zirconian, or was it real diamonds? Okay. When the pressure was placed on it. And I realized that. And I think that's really important. If you are a woman, heck, if you're a man, if you're listening to this, you're welcome to the Word Boost, knowing that your love will only be defined by what it goes through, what it can endure. That's why it ends with saying that love endures all things. Okay. So now that I'm talking through that just a little bit, just a snippet, right? We talk about, those attributes of love. I personally am convinced that love is an attribute that only God can possess in its purest form. Like I'm like, okay, it has to be supernatural, a deity that can actually show love on this level. All right. I've tried to be faithful to showing this type of love, and I have failed. I feel like I have showed love. People have expressed, they feel loved by me. They see love in my life, but am I perfect to this degree? No. There's not even a break or a pause in me saying that. And I believe that God is also the source of love. So if I want to give love, I have to go to where love is. I have to get it from Him. And I learned that. And so there was a lot of times, let me just say, in my relationships outside of, I don't want anybody to just isolate this to romantic relationships. You can have relationships on all kind of levels. You can be a mother, a daughter, a son, you can have your own children, friends. I mean, we have relationships on all type of levels. And in the end, love has a form of sacrifice. And that's why I said it's inconvenient, because at any moment when you have connections, when you love people, there's things that people are going to do to hurt you. There's going to be things that people are going to do that are unkind. They're going to show arrogance. They're going to be boastful toward you. They're going to do the things that are anti-love. And your love is going to be tried and tested to show what it really is, right? And that is the type of love, that is the true definition of love that we need to know, so that when we are in the midst of it, we can realize my love is basically being called out. My love is being called out right now. And one of the sacrifices I think too with love is pride. Pride, you guys, pride is a big one that tries to test our love in relationships. I mean, being right, with our friends, being right with our family, being right with our significant others. A lot of times that gets into the way, and it creates tension or barriers that prevents the love from growing and going deeper the way that it's meant to. And sacrifice is what's necessary. Your love has to show a level of sacrifice. And so when I talk about love in this way, when you think about your relationships, you really have to think about the value of every relationship in your life. The value of the things that this can actually go beyond people, right? But you shouldn't really love things more than you love people. But the people that you love in your life, you have to evaluate what is the value of this relationship. Because, for example, and I know this might hit down in people's lane, especially if you're a giver, maybe somebody borrows money from you, and let's say $100, and they tell you they're going to pay you back. Is this hitting anybody's lane? I've been there. They tell you you're going to pay you back. And because you love them and you know they have a need, you give them the $100, right? I mean, what's $100 in comparison to your friend and knowing they have a need? But when the time comes for them to pay it back, or the time comes to give the money back, and maybe now you have the need, it's like you need that money. That thing right there could actually create a bad situation. And truly, it's going to take somebody, either you or that person, to not have pride. It's going to take sacrificing that pride, sacrificing want to be right, sacrificing the whole ideal of it's the principle, right? And really evaluating value the relationship. Is that relationship worth $100? And as silly as that sounds, I guarantee you, even right now, there's people all over the world, families, you think about fighting over inheritances, all kinds of things. They're throwing their relationships away because of stuff, and it shows that their love for those things, or the love for pride is of higher values than their love for that person. And if it is, then was it love anyway? Like love, you know what I mean? Like you gonna throw your love away for $100. You're gonna throw your love away for the sake of just being right, and it could be something so petty. I mean, I can honestly say too, in my own life, there's been times where I've had disagreements with friends or family members, and I'd go for a long time not talking. Who knows? I mean, by God's grace, bad things didn't happen to those people or to me, but could you imagine you cut somebody off just taking for granted, like, I'll see you when I see you, right? I'm going to be mad, and I'm going to count your wrongs against you, right? Because my love is being tested. Their love is being tested. And in that time, I'm assuming ain't nothing going to happen. Or maybe I don't care because I'm giving in to my pride, and I'm not allowing my love, which it's showing I have a weakness there, right? Doesn't mean I'm not loving, but I'm not going to the source, right? To get love, to find a level of love that goes deeper than what I can go in my own self, or that I've already gone before. Because now this is taking me to a place of discomfort, a place of love that I've never had to go into before. And so, oh man, you guys, that right there, that kind of stuff will set you straight. It'll set you straight and make you realize like how good, if you think about it, like I think how good God is to have created this earth, and all the unkind, arrogant, boastful, all the things that we've done to test and try his love, and yet this earth still exists. I know a lot of times, and I've been there before, where I've asked, like, if God is good, then why does bad exist? Why does evil exist? I remember asking that, and I felt in my heart, which I believe was God, he was like, because if I destroyed all evil, if I destroyed all bad, I would destroy all of humanity. Like, because we all want to think that, oh, I'm good, but destroy that bad person. Like, oh, I'm driving right, but destroy that person speeding. But if we all know that at one time or another, we've all been speeding on the road in our car, we just didn't get caught, right? And so that just kind of set me straight. God's love, he is patient, he is kind, he is all of these things and more toward us. And we are now being given the commission to be this way to each other, And so I think this is also fitting to say during this season too, with, in America, if you're from another country, you're listening in, we love you and you're welcome here too. But if you're in America and knowing that we have, all these politics and everything going on, not to let all of this stuff it's trying your love too. It's been trying my love, it's been testing my love, but not to allow your love to be found to be a counterfeit, right? In the end, it's important to not only consider yourself, but it's important to consider others. And a lot of things that we are going through and a lot of problems we have in the world, I'm pretty sure that we can at least agree on, it has much to do with selfishness. It has a lot to do with me looking out for me only trying to create a circumstance or a situation or environment, a system that benefits me. And when we have that mindset, it really does create chaos and corruption, and, it manifests evil. And that's not who we are at our greatest core. I believe we are people formed and created out of love, and we are being called back into love. Right. And this definition of it, if you don't know 1 Corinthians 13, don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Like if you're like, oh, I don't want to be religious, I don't want to be in the Bible. Don't worry. OK, reading it will not hurt you. But I encourage you to look it up, to read it, to think on it, because who doesn't want to be more loving? Right. And who doesn't want that type of love? It'll change you. It'll change the world. We can talk about that more. I mean, that's a subject that I can go far and deep in and would probably never, ever end. But just a few last thoughts before we wrap this up. Just for now, I would say that love, the attribute of love that is important is love gives its very best. So with that, in a way, I'm saying, think about a time like you really love someone and consider the gifts you gave them. I'm not talking about material things, the gift of understanding, something like that. The gift of your time, the gift of your support in word and in action, a thoughtful present that goes beyond just a quick pick to say, oh, I got them something. No, but something you really thought about and put effort into. Love is that it's always trying to think about how can I give my best. It's not saying, oh, well, how can I give just enough to match what this person is giving me? Just enough because, no, there is no endless source. Love is not tapped out when you know where to go to get it. Love is not tapped out when you know where to go to get it. Now, if you don't, then you're going to act and live like you only have enough, only have a little bit, right? And so I'm only giving what I'm getting back because I'm always going to be in the negative, but you're not. There's surplus in God. He's supernatural. He'll give it to you. You say, hey, God, help me love. God, help me have more patience with this. God, help me. I want to manifest these attributes of love. I don't want to be unkind. I don't want to be the one that's always testing love. I don't want to be always the one that's proven to be a counterfeit form of love. I want to be the real deal. And if you're a newly married person out there and maybe you're struggling, that first year they say it could be tough. And I say, right? That first year can be tough. But just know that if your love isn't built on superficial things, then those little disputes, they can get to you, but that's why it's important to forgive quickly. It's important to not allow days to go by where issues are unresolved. It's important too, to really in your heart of hearts and core of your being, to make a commitment not to be selfish. If you're selfless, both of you are selfless, you will not have to worry about being void of, what you need, right? Because you guys are always serving each other. And it's really hard to get to, and you're not going to get there overnight. Heck, I'm not even fully there. I've only been married coming up on 5 years. But I just encourage you to grow in your love and know that in growing in your love, you're going to go through some pressure and your love is going to be tried and tested. And be encouraged. You will prove to be true. Your love will prove to be true. And those vows will not just be words that you said, but they will be words that you live, because that is the best kind of love that is lived. And so I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little, maybe not quick, I don't even know how long this was, but this little chatums up about love. And let's dialogue about it. I mean, tell me about one of the ahas that you've learned about love once you've gotten into the midst of it, or some of the inconvenience of love. And then we can also celebrate the beauty and the glory of love, because it is all of that too. And debunk the lies, right? I mean, Hollywood is Hollywood for a reason. We love all the talent out there, but Hollywood shouldn't define our real life, everyday experiences. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people struggle in their relationships on all different levels, because they have this fake idea. If somebody loves me, they have to agree with everything I do. That's not realistic. No, sometimes people love you and they don't agree because in their mind, they think that this thing is hurting you. It's going to destroy you, but they love you, right? And, or sometimes you just disagree. But if your love is bigger than that thing, then you can grow beyond it. And hey, sometimes you'll come to a point of agreement, but love is big, you guys. Love is big. Love is able. There's nothing that we cannot do. Love is king. I already said it. Love is king, and it's what the kingdom is built on. So let's walk in it. Let's give it to each other. And if this helped you out in any kind of way, share it with somebody. Drop a little nugget that you got from this. And let's keep this dialogue going. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in to Word Boost. Hey, little sister, I'll be back next Thursday, 4 p.m., always with the goal of trying to keep you from getting tripped up or trapped in less than God's best. Bye. What's up? Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Make sure you check out more episodes. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss no episodes. You can also connect with me on social media or at my website, MarshellBarwise.com. Because I love when you guys submit those Q&A questions so I can answer. You guys get me thinking and we have good dialogue about it. So let's keep that up. And as always, I just want to leave you with the biggest reminder to keep dreaming big, pursuing those dreams hard, and inspiring many.